Welcome to Morningstar. We're moving towards the end of the earnings season, and I think it's time to check how some of our Nordic stocks are doing. With me today to shed some light on a couple of interesting stocks is Morningstar's equity analyst, Matthew Donen. Thank you for joining us today, Matthew. Are there any Nordic stocks that you find extra interesting at the moment?
Yes, Kone, the second largest manufacturer of elevators, is a high-quality Nordic business which is trading in undervalued territory. Because of macroeconomic conditions, there's been a slowdown in the installation of new elevators in its core geographies of China and Europe. However, the majority of the business comes from the servicing and maintenance of elevators, which is a highly resilient part of the business and also earns higher margins. So we think this is a perfect opportunity where the market's presented itself a buying opportunity because of short-term weakness, whereas the long-term outlook of the business remains extremely favorable.
Okay, interesting. Any other stocks that you have your eye on at the moment?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been looking, obviously, Vestas and Ørsted have been very topical of late. We actually see some challenges within the wind energy market that we expect are likely to persist going forward. So several of the tailwinds that have helped propel wind energy to where it is today have actually shifted and become headwinds, the most notable being higher interest rates and cost inflation. And what ultimately this has done is it threatens the viability of both future and current wind developments. And we're seeing this on the ground at the moment through undersubscribed wind auctions, as well as the cancellation of many wind projects. Now, these challenges aren't unique to Ørsted or Vestas, but some of its competitors, particularly in Ørsted's case, have more diversified revenue streams, and therefore their outlook is likely to be a bit more favorable. In Vestas's situation, we don't actually think that they are disadvantaged to some of its peers, particularly due to the operational issues at Siemens Energy, but we do think there are going to be several headwinds within the market outlook that these companies are exposed to.
And I also noticed that the market reacted very differently to both Ørsted and Vestas earnings for Q3. What are your take on their earnings?
It's actually quite interesting because the fundamental reason behind the movement in both companies was actually higher wind turbine prices. In Vestas's case, they've reversed a multi-year trend of decreasing wind turbine prices, which they had to do because of the significant cost inflation that we saw between 2020 and 2022. They've increased their wind turbine prices by up to 40%, which allowed the company to make its first quarterly profit since 2021, which propelled the share price about 10% higher on earnings day. Now, ultimately, Ørsted is a customer of Vestas, so higher wind turbine prices reduce the returns that Ørsted make on its wind development. As a result, Ørsted has had to cancel 2 major wind projects in the United States and subsequently recorded about a $5 billion impairment because of the cancellation of those projects. So the share price plummeted about 25% after that announcement.
Thank you so much for this insight, Matthew. And until next time, I'm Joanna England for Morningstar.